Welcome, folks, to After Further Review. I'm your host, Matty Q.
And I'm John Cushion.
We have a fantastic podcast for you today. We're going to be going over all the ins and outs of last week and this week. Just stay ready for this one. This is a good one.
Let's jump into the Week 14 summary. Patriots-Rams on Thursday night. The Rams won 24-3. The Rams defense had solid 21 points, 6 sacks, pick 6, 3 points allowed. Reverse of last Super Bowl.
You're staring into my soul on this one.
I want to hear what Matty Q has to say about the Patriots.
We played like trash. Our defense had so many holes. Okay, I don't blame this game on our defense. This was the offensive fault because our defense was on the field so much. They were so tired. Cam Akers ran through us like a hot knife through butter. It was terrible. Cam Newton made awful decisions. Josh McDaniels messed up the play calling horrendously. Overall, I give ourselves like a D-, and that's being generous.
In this tank season for the Patriots now.
We have a 2% chance of making the playoffs.
So, Patriots need to win out to make the playoffs, and on top of other things happening.
I don't know. If we can get like a Kyle Pitts out of the draft, I'll be very happy. So, and he's gonna go like 15.
Sunday, Titans-Jaguars. Titans won 31-10. Derrick Henry, of course, like I called it on the podcast last week. He always has monster games against Jacksonville. 36.2, 215 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 7. And on the Jaguars side, Mike Glennon got benched. Minshew came back in. He has been named the starter for this week. Vikings-Buccaneers. Buccaneers won 26-14. Chiefs-Dolphins. Wow, this was a really good game.
Yeah.
Chiefs won 33-27. Dolphins D, I got to give them credit because they had 10 points against Mahomes and the Chiefs.
We saw the human side of Mahomes today.
Yeah, 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. They had a fumble recovery. Mahomes only had 18.62. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, on the other hand, Kelsey had 27.6. Tyreek Hill had 26.1. Tua Tagovailoa, 27.04 fantasy points, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 rushes for 24 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Mike Gesicki, 23.5. He did get hurt. Went to the locker room, was in pain.
Looks like it's not too serious, though. When he first went down, I thought it was a season-ending injury, for sure. But they're saying he's gonna probably miss this week, but he should be ready to go.
I hope he's back. I like Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, me too. He's talented.
Dolphins are valid. They're a valid team. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
We're going to see them against the Patriots this week. We'll talk about that later. Broncos-Panthers. So I trusted the Panthers' defense in fantasy this week. They really, really let me down. Drew Lock. They let Drew Lock score 25.6 fantasy points on them. They let Drew Lock throw 4 touchdowns on them.
That's awful.
How do you let Drew Lock do that? Drew Lock. How do you let him do that?
I've never been a Drew Lock fan, ever in my life.
Yeah.
I think he's a joke. I think he's tremendously overrated. I don't think he has any sort of talent that would mimic a starting quarterback in the NFL.
And sad from the Panthers.
He dropped 4 touchdowns against the Panthers.
It's sad. Mike Davis on the Panthers, though, 26.3. Another no McCaffrey show. Texans-Bears. This one surprised everyone. Bears won 36-7, and the Texans the Bears lost to the Lions the week before, and then they come back and beat the Texans and hold them to 7 points. I think Deshaun Watson's got to get out of Houston.
He signed that major deal. I don't think there's anywhere to go.
Force or request a trade. Always could.
Yeah, but where would he? I think
you see some of the moves he's making. Like he's putting his shoulder down, risking it all, and the season's over, the game is over.
They should sit him for the rest of the year.
It's just asking for an injury to happen. He's getting clobbered out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to talk about trading DeAndre Hopkins because that's probably the stupidest move in all of football. I would have left that.
Maybe the worst move ever.
Yeah. I would have left after that if I'm the quarterback. It's like, all right, you just got rid of
The top receiver,
for
an
in football,
old decaying David Johnson,
who's injured right now, right?
He was injury prone and like a 3rd round pick.
I think Bill O'Brien knew he was gonna get fired, so he just started doing everything. What a cocksucker.
This one upset me, but not as much as you might have thought. The Cardinals beat the Giants 26-7. I mean, you look at 2 weeks ago, Matt, before the Giants played the Seahawks. Seahawks and Cardinals. Those were pretty much guaranteed losses for the Giants. I was expecting it. Everyone was expecting it. So we got one against Seattle, and I think that's enough. I don't know, because I think football teams got a pretty good thing going right now. They've got a pretty easy schedule.
It's going to be interesting. It really is.
I mean, football teams are ahead in the division by 1 game right now. Everyone won in the division this week again, besides the Giants, though.
Giants played terrible.
Dan Jones didn't rush once.
Dan Jones shouldn't have played.
He got sacked. I think it was 8 total. The Giants allowed 8 sacks. Colt McCoy took one. I know that. He had a fumble. He came in at the end. Dan Jones got rushed back too early. Now he has another leg injury besides the hamstring one, and it's poor management right there.
Yeah, that's how you ruin a guy's career right there.
Giants were so hot, and this game kind of blew it. Defense held the Cardinals too. Like it was like 3 first-quarter points, 12 at the half, and it was 13 at the half, and then it was like, you can only hold them for so long before the offense actually does something. Cowboys, on the other hand, beat the Bengals, and to no one's surprise, except for Julian, who picked the Bengals last week.
He actually picked the Bengals?
Remember? Yeah, he picked Cincinnati. Dallas won 30-7.
Who would pick the Bengals? That's why he was fired. That's
one thing we have to talk about. Julian Marconi has officially been released from after further review.
It gives us a lot of cap space.
And the best part of this is he's not getting any unemployment because it is gross misconduct, what he did, all the wrong picks.
Just being terrible at fantasy football.
Saying Derek Carr is not gonna go under 25 points for the rest of the year, and then the first game he goes under 25 points.
If Derek Carr started to get 25 points a game, then we'd be like, all right, that's a good prediction. We'll see.
And first week.
This is his second week not being able to be there, and we just decided it's best for the cap space and management to part ways.
So we are hiring officially.
Well, I did have a lead.
Answer the ad, the help wanted ad posted.
I did have Mike Baldwin call me today.
Oh, wow.
And he was a little interested. And I said, probably not this week, but we'll talk next week.
We'll see. Speaking of Derek Carr, Colts beat Derek Carr 44-27. Colts defense had 12 points. They ended with a touchdown. John Taylor, 30.5 points. He destroyed the Raiders defense. T.Y. Hilton had 25.6. I mean, Colts offense had a fantastic game. The defense had a fantastic game. Colts just really had their way with the Raiders. And something happened for the Raiders. They just fell off so hard. They were 6-3, and they were winning, and they were competing with the Chiefs, and then they lost that game against Kansas City, and then they started to have a meltdown. It's like they almost lost they should have lost to the Jets. They got beat bad by the Falcons. Now they're getting beat bad by the Colts. We'll have to see how this turns out.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's Derek. Derek Carr seems to be playing decently well.
Yeah.
John Gruden,
John Gruden's one of the best coaches.
Yeah. What is it? I don't know.
Defense. I don't know how you can let up 44, 37 subtracting the defensive touchdown. 37 points to the Colts. To Phil Rivers.
Philip Rivers, the most unathletic quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Maybe Ben Roethlisberger.
But Ben can still move.
Seahawks Jets, to no one's surprise, 40-3 was the score at the end of the game. Russ got pulled at the end because saving injuries. Seahawks came back with a win after the loss to the Giants. Packers beat the Lions in a game that was very close, 31-24. Devontae Adams keeps the streak going. He's had, I think it's 8 straight games with a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, 30.9.
I mean, Devontae Adams is probably my favorite guy on fantasy ever. Like, if he walked into my house and he offered to sit on my face.
Oh my god. Oh my god. How does that
I would
correlate
allow
to
it.
fantasy?
I would
How
allow
does that
because he's single-handedly winning me fantasy games.
Listen, I will actually defend Devontae Adams to the end to prove he's the best receiver in the league right now. I mean, you could make a case Tyreek Hill this, Tyreek Hill that. You know, you could argue all these guys, but Devontae Adams is the definition of consistent, and it's 25 points consistent.
He has had a touchdown in every game since week 7, and in that game he didn't have a touchdown in week 6 and week 3. He was injured. So every game that he's healthy, he has a touchdown or 2
or 3
or 3.
He's one or more every week fully healthy.
Dude is ridiculous.
That is consistent.
Dude is ridiculous. I mean, Tyreek Hill, he'll have like a 10-point game than a 50-point game. I would much rather have a guy who consistently
he's going to get you
25 points every week, no matter who he's playing. Tyreek Hill, it kind of matters on the defense and everything. But Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. I wish I had Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, honestly.
He had 30.9. He's got to be.
If I could have had the
close contestant for MVP.
If I had the Aaron Rodgers Devontae Adams combo.
That would be nasty.
But, I mean, I'll take Kyler
I had to
Murray.
play against Aaron Rodgers this week.
I'm playing against Aaron Rodgers this week.
Oh, wow. Chargers beat the Falcons. Julian picked the Falcons. Me and Matt went with the Chargers.
Bonehead move.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, 20.2. Austin Eckler, 23.6. Calvin Ridley for the Falcons, 26.4 on Julian's bench. Football team beat the 49ers, 23-15. Chase Young scored his first NFL touchdown.
Yeah. The game seemed the score of the game seems a lot closer than the game actually was. The Washington football team had that game the whole way.
Hurt a lot as a Giants fan. We needed the 49ers to come through.
I mean, the Washington defensive line is probably the best in the league right now.
With Bud Dupree's injury, I think it is. Alex Smith is hurt again.
Yeah,
he is not looking good for this week. We'll see though.
Although I don't think call me crazy, but it doesn't matter too much for the football team because they don't pride themselves on scoring.
I mean, even when they do score, it's Gibson.
Exactly. They don't pass the ball much.
Yeah.
I mean, Haskins knows his role. He's not going to try to.
He needs to know his role right now.
Hopefully Gibson.
Because if they want to win a division, he needs to hand off the ball.
Hopefully Gibson can come back soon because I need
screens and hands. Eagles Saints. Eagles won. Yeah. Eagles won against the Saints. Holy shit, I just realized what I said. 24-21. Jalen Hurts made his first NFL start and impressed. He made an impression that is good.
Did you see that Doug Peterson side-eye to Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I did.
There's some bad blood in Philadelphia.
I don't know. Could Jalen Hurts save Doug Peterson his job?
Who knows? I don't like Doug Peterson that much. I don't think he's that good of a coach. He makes some dumb decisions.
But, I mean, if they're beating the Saints.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of rookies, have you noticed, a lot of rookies in their debut, ball out, and then they kind of fall off. That adrenaline just pumping.
Jalen Hurts ended with 19.28.
Teams don't know what they can do.
He had 167 passing yards, 106 rushing yards, had a passing touchdown, so he had 100, touchdown, a win. Miles Sanders really stole the show, though, 29.6.
I mean, it was one of the best rookie debuts we've seen. I mean, I think the best rookie debut we've seen in recent time was Baker Mayfield.
We saw so many fourth downs for Philadelphia and so many conversions because they can run it with Hurts now. That's something that Wentz couldn't do. He's not an immobile quarterback, but Hurts is a mobile quarterback.
After the injury, I think he got very slow and immobile.
Kamara on the Saints had 22.4. Steelers Bills won on Sunday night 26-15. Diggs 29.1, 10 for 130 and a touchdown, 1 rushing yard. 130 yards from Diggs is a good performance. Steelers are falling off.
Now, would you consider Diggs a top 5 receiver?
I mean, he's 3rd in fantasy points right now.
I think he's top 5.
I think he is. I think he's not the biggest name, but his performance this year has been adequate.
Oh yeah.
He's really connecting with Josh Allen. I think this move to Buffalo was right for him.
Absolutely.
Because he doesn't have to share the spotlight with Thielen anymore.
I'm playing Diggs this week too.
He was on Julian's bench last week.
How many guys does Julian have on his team? He's benching Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
And then, ladies and gentlemen, the game of the year.
Yeah.
The game of the year.
Yeah.
Ravens-Browns, Monday night. Final score, 47-42. This competitive with the Chiefs-Rams in 2018.
Yeah, that was a good game too.
I think this is underrated. I don't think people realize how
The
high
thing
scoring
I
this
wa-
is. 47-42.
The thing I like about this game over the Chiefs and Rams was like,
It wasn't just all offense.
yeah, and like we saw the Browns fall 14-point deficit twice. Baker Mayfield claw, but this game.
Baker Mayfield, 30.02 fantasy points, 343 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have an interception, but had 5 rushes for 23 yards and a touchdown. And remember, I mean, he should have had like 368, but that laterals, that was a forward pass. So those counted as minus passing yards for Mayfield. So it was like minus 20, minus 25. And then the safety, which made it 47-42.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker kicked the game-winning field goal for the Ravens. It just came down to who had the ball last.
Yeah, and if the Ravens didn't have Justin Tucker, that game would have gone in overtime.
Yeah.
I think Justin Tucker, that was a 55-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Tucker's the only kicker in the league right now. I would say he hits that 10 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Not like Cody Parkey would have shanked it somewhere. Like everybody else in the league, I don't.
Jim, can we roll the clip where last week Baker Mayfield was on my waiver wire at 20% rostered? Waiver wire.
Never ever.
QB, I am riding with Baker Mayfield. He's against Baltimore, who is 13th, but this is a big game for both teams. You know, the 9-3 Browns versus the 7-5 Ravens. It's a big divisional game, big playoff game, and I think Baker's gonna be up to the test.
How about when you were bullying Baker Mayfield for the entire year, saying he was the problem?
That was like week 2.
Saying he was the problem.
No, I said the coaching staff.
And then I said, I don't think Baker's the problem. I think he needs to develop.
I was on the Mayfield train. I've been on it for 6 weeks now. I love the dog pound. I don't think this game affects them at all. I think they just prove to everyone that they are contenders.
And Baker's he's the real deal. This is the guy that the Browns were looking for when they drafted him.
And the Browns have, in my opinion, the best backfield in the league. Kareem Hunt, 29 points. Nick Chubb, 24.3. On the other side, though, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Remember we talked about it last week. Is he back? 34.92. 11 of 17, 163, touchdown, 9 rushes for 124 and 2 rushing touchdowns. Went into the locker room, took a shit, came back, won the game.
I've seen that run before.
Pulled a Paul Pierce.
Yeah, he says he didn't pull a Paul Pierce, but he was. If you had a cramp, you wouldn't be running. Like
Rumor has it Beckham was sniffing around the locker room after the game.
DMing him, hey, what bathroom do you use?
Did you take a picture of it?
Yeah.
Although the negative about that is he allowed Trace McSorley to come in and potentially tear his ACL.
Yeah, I mean, Trace McSorley. I mean, Lamar's gonna be hated for that for the rest of his career. The guy who injured McSorley. Yeah. Because he couldn't hold in his shit like an asshole.
No,
but he was out for a while.
I know. But he's white. He was a messy one.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. It's just like Aaron Andrews. I think was it who? No, it was the sideline reporter was just like, Lamar is not on the sidelines right now, and I'm like, he's taking a shit. I guarantee you. And then they show the video of him running in. It's like,
fantasy segment. Top players of the week. There was so many good players this week. Derrick Henry 36.2, Miles Sanders 29.6, Kareem Hunt 29, Lamar Jackson 34.92, Baker Mayfield 30.02, Allen Robinson 27.3, Aaron Rodgers 30.9, Travis Kelce 27.6, Jonathan Taylor 30.5, Stephon Diggs 29.1, and that's just the top of them. Yeah. I didn't even get into it.
You'd say Cam Akers too.
No, how many did he finish with?
23. But he didn't have any touchdowns. It was like he had
107 yards.
29 attempts, 179 rushing yards, like 2 catches for 20 yards. He's my top waiver wire pickup this week against the Jets.
Shat team of the week. QB. It was close for me. I didn't want to take Dan Jones, though, because of the injury.
Yeah.
but he was my second consideration. And that I'm not going to be biased about it. Like, he had a shatty performance. You can make the case he
I
was
have another
injured.
giant on there.
But 3.08, projected 17.009, 14.01 difference. That's a shat game. But I had Mike Glennon as my QB. Projected 16.47, got 1.4. I mean, he's done now. His career's got to be done. He was my shat QB.
I didn't take a quarterback that had a particularly awful game. I took Big Ben. He had 12 points.
Mm-hmm.
He was projected like 17. And lost the game. Didn't play well at all.
And
I think that's deserving of a shat team.
Running backs.
Spot.
Now, I'm going to give you a warning right before. I did not take Jim Connor despite his 1 point this week because he's injured.
Is he?
Yeah, he has he's dealing with a quadricep injury.
But did he play?
Yeah, and I think he left the game early. I'm not sure. I just can't bring myself to use people who got injured because it's really not their fault. Some people who I can blame for their shat performances, though. Devin Singletary of the Bills, 4.4, projected 11.54, and Aaron Jones. He did not have, like Big Ben, he didn't have the worst statistical game, 9.5, but when you look at what he's done, like, before, like, he had a 45-point week 2, 22, right, 23 against the Eagles, week 13, and then he comes in with this 9.5-point game, projected 16.99. That's a shat in my book, especially when it's for my team. So,
what about Josh Jacobs? I had Josh.
He's
Jacobs.
also questionable. He's been hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he was trolling everybody.
I know.
Before the game.
Yeah, I wonder how many people sat him because of it.
Well, I mean, if they did sit him, they didn't lose on much.
He had,
10
points. Yeah. Any more running backs?
No.
Wide receivers. This was close. I went with Chris Godwin as my first one, 4.5, projected 13.98, and my second, Corey Davis, 4.4, 16.22 projected, just because of the difference between projections and actuality scores. Do you have any receivers?
Justin Jefferson. He had 9.
Justin Jefferson. So I was going to take him, but then I went with Thielen because he was projected more and he got less. 6.9 he got. He was in my flex.
I just
projected
feel like
17. I started Jefferson over Thielen.
Yeah.
So I did get more out of him because he got 9.6, I think, or something like that. But Adam Thielen had less, and he's considered the wide receiver 1.
The Vikings situation is so weird.
Inconsistent.
It's like, if one receiver has a bad game, they all do. If
like
Justin Jefferson
2 weeks ago, I started Thielen over Jefferson. Thielen ended with 23. Jefferson ended with 29. So I'm like, oh, man, this week I'll start Justin Jefferson. This week, Jefferson has 9. Thielen has 7. So I'm like, they go together or they shat together. That's what it is.
Yeah, they shat together.
They shat as a team, basically.
Yeah.
The whole team shats.
I mean, Dalvin Cook never really shat.
He had 19, right?
19, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's still not even like, I mean, for Dalvin Cook, that's not that good.
Tight end,
But
I went Evan Ingram, 3.8 points, 10.88 projected.
yeah, I went Evan Ingram too.
He needs to. I don't know what it is because he is Darren Waller talent in my mind. Like, he's the fastest tight end in the league. We know what he can do. He's just not doing anything.
Yeah.
He didn't have a catch until the fourth quarter. I mean, this is getting bad in New York for Evan Ingram. Wasted talent. Wasted talent. No. Playoff team. Shat player of the week, though. Just looking at point difference.
Well, who's your flex?
Adam Thielen was.
Oh, I had Jamison Crowder, 2 points, 1 reception.
Shat player of the week.
Shat player of the week, though. Just looking at point difference, I'm going Mike Glennon because it's a 15.04 difference from projected and reality. 1.4 points. Got benched for Minshew.
Yeah. I had Evan Ingram as my Shat player of the week.
Yeah. I think you can make that case. Waiver wire. QB. So he's questionable. He has another leg injury. I'm going Dan Jones, though.
Okay.
25.3 rostered. He finished with 3.08 last game. But he's against Cleveland, who's 27th against QBs. We saw what Lamar did to them. And I think even if the Giants don't win this game, if Dan Jones plays, I think it's reasonable that he puts up points. He puts up numbers against Cleveland's defense.
I am gonna go Jalen Hurts on this one.
Mm.
I think he is gonna be fantastic in the run game again. I really
Against
Arizona, which their defense started off extremely hot, but have cooled down over the past couple of weeks. I think he's going to be utilized in many different ways. He's 21% rostered in leagues. He's projected 17.4.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this a lot. I like.
He's
Jalen
solid.
Hurts.
Like he had 19 this week, so he's solid.
Yeah.
Or that's what we've seen so far. Running backs, though, my top one. This is DeAndre Washington of Miami. All of Miami's backs get hurt.
Yeah.
So he's 25 or he's 24.4% rostered, and he's against New England. DeAndre Washington came in for running back for Miami last week and dropped 7.2. So I think against New England, 14th against running backs. I think this is a good pick. I like this pick.
Okay. I mentioned this earlier in the show, but Cam Akers.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one. Before this week, he qualified for the waiver wire. He had 49% roster.
How much did he shoot up to?
He's now at 84.8%.
Especially against the Jets.
Against the Jets, he's projected 15 points,
Mm-hmm.
74 yards on the rush, and 1 touchdown. Like, I don't think there's a better running back pickup than Cam Akers this week. I really don't. I put him in my starting lineup, and I'm starting him over Wayne Gallman.
Wow. Wayne Gallman, I like Wayne Gallman.
I do too, but I don't like his matchup against Cleveland.
Cleveland has a good run defense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be the air game.
Cam Akers,
which is why we'll talk about that when we get to receivers. Because I have one more running back pick.
Yeah.
I'm going Jeff Wilson. He had 9.4 last week. Mostert is questionable again. He's been inconsistent with injuries this year. Jeff Wilson, 7.4% rostered, and he's against Dallas, who's 26 versus running backs, arguably the worst defense in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jeff Wilson he's a red zone guy. He gets touchdowns.
Another running back who's playing a bad defense, J.K. Dobbins. He's not getting...
What roster? It was like...
He's 76, but he's on my waiver wire, so he's probably on a lot of other people's waiver wires.
Mm.
He's ranked
24% of people's waiver wires.
He had 13 rushing attempts, 53 yards, and 1 touchdown.
And that's against
a very
Cleveland's
good Cleveland defense. Cleveland rush defense.
Mm-hmm.
But he's playing the Jaguars this week. The only thing you got to look out for is if Gus Edwards gets...
look at what Derrick Henry just did to the Jaguars defense.
Yeah, but we're talking about Derrick Henry here.
No, I know. I'm saying then that's where Dobbins could come in and get sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
Of a torch defense.
Yeah.
Receivers, though.
I know J.K. Dobbins loves sloppy seconds. But
receivers, though.
He went to Ohio State.
Going back to New York for the 3rd straight week, he is going to be featured. He has not brought me success in the last 2 weeks he's been featured, but I'm going Sterling Shepard. 41.1% rostered against Cleveland again. 23rd ranked defense versus receivers. 27th versus QBs. I really like this pick this week because I think Dan Jones, it's important they get their connection back. You could pick Golden Tate up, a little inconsistent, but I think Sterling Shepard is more consistent than Golden Tate. And then my second one, going back to LA or MetLife in this week, Josh Reynolds for the Rams, 0.9% rostered, 1.6 last week, real bad week, but it's the Jets. 27th versus receivers.
I have one receiver, that's Rashard Higgins. Now, this is for deeper leagues, but in the past 2 games against Tennessee and Baltimore, he's had 6 receptions, 95 yards and 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has 4 touchdowns on the year, 21 and 18 consecutive fantasy point games.
With Beckham gone.
With Beckham out, Jarvis Landry not being...
Jarvis Landry's been inconsistent. Jarvis Landry's obviously been wide receiver 1, but Higgins has just come in. He's accepted the role of what Jarvis Landry used to be.
Yeah, I really like him. He just needs to hold on to the football.
Yeah,
he had a tough first drive, but he bounced back. He had 18 points, so...
Tight ends, I'm going Irv Smith, Minnesota. 2.2% rostered. He's against Chicago's 30th versus tight ends. They give up so many points to tight ends, and he dropped 16.3 last week for Minnesota. That's more than Jefferson and Thielen. And I like that pick this week against Chicago at home. You know any tight ends?
Not really. I don't really worry about tight ends too much.
Defense. I mean, if you can get the Rams defense,
I tried to pick him up, but Scheibel got him before.
I got the Rams defense against New York, of course. I also like Miami versus the Patriots.
Yeah, I like Cleveland against the Giants without Dan Jones.
Well, he's questionable. We'll see if he plays. Even
an injured Dan Jones.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
take an injured Dan Jones.
The Giants' offense has not been good.
Call me crazy. I'll take an injured Dan Jones over a healthy Colt McCoy.
Yeah, I mean, Colt McCoy came
if I'm playing the defense, yeah. I'd much rather have an injured Dan Jones come in.
Because he can't scramble. They get so many sacks.
Yeah.
Especially with the 32nd ranked line.
Yeah.
That is it for the fantasy segment. Now let's talk about power rankings. Power rankings. I just want to start off with Julian, just so we can get this out of the way, because we still get his picks in. We crossed off his name. He doesn't have any association with us now besides power rankings and picks. His power rankings are starting at 5 Steelers, 4 Packers, 3 Titans, 2 Bills, 1 Chiefs.
I think that's an abysmal list.
I don't think we should even talk about it.
Yeah, no, let's move on.
My power rankings though. Honorable mention. A lot of guys fell for me this week. A lot of teams fell. Some out of the top 5, some just down spots. One team who fell out of the top 5 completely, the Steelers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even have them in honorable mentions. Honorable mentions for me: Colts, Titans, Browns with their loss, but it wasn't really a loss. It was a loss, but they gained so much from it. So I think they're still in the honorable mentions. Number 5, I'm going to start off. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I have the Browns and Colts.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions.
Number 5, I'm going to start off with the Saints.
Okay.
Who I do not think will be there next week because they're playing the Chiefs this week, and they just lost to Philly, so they dropped from 2 to 5.
All right, so 5, I have the Steelers. They just managed to stay in my top 5.
They might make their way back because they're playing the Bengals.
Yeah.
But number 4, I'm going Seahawks. Fell out with the loss against the Giants, but they're back in number 4 spot with this 40-point win, or 37-point win against the Jets.
Also have the Seahawks at 4.
Yep. Number 3, I went Bills.
I also have the Bills at 3. Do we have the same top 4?
2, Packers.
Yes. And 1 Chiefs. Wow, look at great minds think alike. And then here's Julian over here being a complete asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gross. To have the Titans over the Packers, it's gross, sir. Gross. No, but nice job, Matt, on the top 5. Really.
So we understand
our number 5.
All we have different was
Saints and Steelers.
Yeah.
Predictions. Let us talk about next week. So, give you the standings once again. Matt won last week with 11 picks right.
Wow,
he is at 113 right. Julian is still in second. He got 9 right. He is at 109, so a 4-point difference. And then I am in third with a 4-point difference to Julian with 105. I also got 9 right. I just need to catch up to Julian. I don't want to buy Matt a burger. I want Julian to pay for Matt's burger.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. It's not even the race for first. It's the race for second. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, if you don't have to pay, then you didn't win. You didn't lose.
Yeah.
So.
You just didn't win.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Thursday night. Chargers, Raiders. Herbert versus Carr. Chargers side, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, all questionable for tomorrow night. On the Raiders side, Josh Jacobs is questionable. I have to go with the Raiders, though. I don't think I can.
I went with Raiders, too.
I love the Chargers, and they got a win, but it was too close. I mean, 20-17 against Atlanta.
Yeah.
I just don't trust them.
I almost lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's talking about the Raiders. No, I like the Raiders.
I just think the Raiders are gonna get this win.
I think they're a better team.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers win. I really wouldn't.
Don't say that.
Why?
Don't say that.
Because it's gonna switch your pick.
I'm just not gonna switch my pick, but.
Well, I mean, we have a history of getting those right on the show.
I'm not switching my pick.
All right. Last time You switched it and you got it right.
I'm not switching my pick.
All right.
I don't feel confident in this one.
All right, I do. I mean, I'm just not confident enough to switch it.
Yeah, okay.
2 Saturday games this week.
Big fan of Saturday games.
Yeah, it kind of stretches out the weekend nicely.
Yeah.
It's like football
We
on
got
both
college
days.
football on Saturday too. Go Irish.
4:30 Saturday. Bills Broncos. I don't think this is a lot of discussion needed here.
Mm.
It's in Denver, but and Drew Lock is coming off 4 touchdowns, but the Bills D will shut him up
Don't really know why they put this one on
Saturday.
Saturday. That's supposed to be prime time.
I mean, is Diggs gonna have another good game?
I hope not, because I'm playing him. But
You hope not.
I hope-
You're playing against him. I thought
Yeah.
you meant you're playing him.
yeah,
But like from a non-biased standpoint, will he have 80 yards? He had over 100 this week.
that's against the Broncos defense. I can see it, but I mean,
And Josh Allen, he's got Cole Beasley, he's got Stephon Diggs, of course.
I think they're gonna double up Diggs. I don't know if he's gonna have that good of a game. The Steelers kind of just like, I mean, he was wide open so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna get that wide open again.
If not, maybe we'll see some Cole Beasley action.
Yeah,
Might be another waiver wire pickup.
could be.
Saturday night, though, Panthers-Packers, another game that won't be close
Mm.
in Lambeau. I'm choosing the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going Packers too.
Oh, I didn't say it. We all went Bills for that one. But I'm going Packers. Julian's going Packers. Matt's going Packers. Christian McCaffrey is doubtful. I don't see any way I can pick the Panthers.
I don't see any way Christian McCaffrey comes back this year. At this
yeah.
point,
Just sit him. Just sit him.
no point of having him come back.
This could be a comeback game for Aaron Jones. I need it to be. I don't need it. I have a bye week.
Once again, I hope not because I'm playing Aaron Jones.
Oh wow! How many
Yeah.
people are you playing this week, Matt?
Jackson has Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Jacobs, Stephon
Wow, he
Diggs.
paired Rodgers and Jones.
Yeah.
Make a prediction. How many Adams touchdowns, if any, are we going to see against Carolina?
2.
2. I like that pick.
I need him to get 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to go 3.
Wow, I like that.
I think he will get 3 because looking at Devontae Adams' history, I mean, he's wide receiver 2 in fantasy points, but for touchdowns, 2 week 1. Then he got hurt, came back, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. And I think that he had 3 against Minnesota, 2 against Houston. I think Carolina will be on the board for 3 Devontae Adams
Drew
touchdowns.
Lock just teared him apart.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
It's a broken secondary.
Yeah.
And then they have to face this team. Moving on to Sunday, Texans Colts. I'm just gonna go Colts. I don't think I can go with the Texans because of what they just did against Chicago. Julian is going Colts.
a
So
lot of the same picks this week.
we'll
So far.
see 4 games so far. Lions Titans, another easy pick. Titans.
Yeah. You know what I thought of? I have the lead right now. So the whole time I could just mimic your picks. And I'll just...
Could.
I'm not going to do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But I could just...
Now listen, is Derrick Henry? I want to talk about his consistency because he's been a little inconsistent, right?
Yeah, yes.
So we could see another boom or bust because the Lions are 32nd versus running backs. Derrick Henry, this year, 40 points against the Texans. The next week he came out and had 15. Right? Then he had 38 against the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came out and had 5.9 against Cleveland. Then this week, so every other week, then he had 36.2. So are we going to see a boom or a bust here? Is he going to bust? Is he going to boom? On the 32nd ranked
he
defense.
Busts. I really hope he busts.
Look at his history playing bad defenses.
He's a big
31, Houston, 40.4 points.
Yeah.
28, Jacksonville, 36.2.
Yeah.
And then 32nd, Detroit this week. I know
a lot of owners.
I think it's going to be a boom.
I know a lot of fantasy owners that can still get behind Derrick Henry even after he busts. Because they can... Because they know the next week he's going to come back and he's not going to bust again. So they get behind. So they get behind him while they can, after he busts.
Derrick Henry is
To
known as a
clean it up.
second half of the season running back, and look at his schedule. 28th ranked Jacksonville, 32nd ranked Detroit, 29th ranked Green Bay, 31st ranked Houston, who he had 40 points against earlier in the season. He's got such an easy schedule as a running back, as the only means of scoring on his team, basically.
I'm glad he's out of the playoffs for us because Scheibel had him and he got eliminated. You know how he got eliminated? Because he had the Ravens defense. He needed 2 points from the Ravens defense.
Wow, Baker
And
Mayfield.
Yeah, he was pissed.
That's hilarious.
It was so funny.
So Bears are playing the Vikings at home. I'm going with the Vikings.
I also went Vikings.
Julian's going with the Bears. Oh my God, Julian went with the Bears. That, my friends, if you ever make predictions, that is called recency bias,
Yeah.
okay? It is looking at last week or the last few weeks' events and making a pick solely based on that, not off of who they're playing this week, how that team did. It's just recency bias. He's looking at last week when the Bears played the Texans and won
One of the worst
36-7.
defenses.
And now they're playing the Vikings, who
Who
are
are
a
gonna
scoring
put up
machine.
points.
Scoring
They're
machine.
gonna
Even
put
when
up
they
points.
sucked, they dropped.
Yeah.
They should have dropped like 24 against the Buccaneers.
Last time they played, it was Monday Night Football. Vikings won, right?
Yeah. I mean, Kirk Cousins got his first Monday night win.
Yeah.
So that's a wrong pick for Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks football team in Washington. Going Seahawks.
I'm going
Because
Seahawks.
I need a win for the Seahawks here if the Giants are going to stay in this thing.
I don't.
I
I
just-
can see this game being close, but I don't see the Seahawks losing
Yeah.
unless they.
I mean,
pull another-
look at what the Giants
Yeah.
did to the Seahawks. And the football team's defense isn't that far off of the Giants.
I think that was
Their
just
line
a
is
Russell
better.
Wilson fluke game. I don't know.
Chase Young is a beast.
Yeah.
Dolphins Patriots. Now this is crazy because Julian in week 7 when the Dolphins played the Rams to his first start and he won, he said that the Patriots would steamroll the Dolphins. And Julian and Matt Patriots fans, looking at this from a reasonable standpoint, I'm going with the Dolphins at home. Julian is going with the Patriots.
I'm going with the Patriots too, but only because Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks is historically
That's
great.
not, yeah, but I don't think it needs to be, I don't think it's just the rookie quarterback this time. I think he's playing a defense who won't allow any points to Cam
Well, look
Newton.
what he did to Justin Herbert. I mean, they shut Justin Herbert
Oh,
out.
I
Justin
realize.
Herbert's a better football player than Tua.
No, I realize.
They don't have a better team, but I mean, they completely shut down Herbert.
I can't go against Miami here.
Okay, then don't go against Miami. I'm going Pats.
Okay, well, I think that's biased right there.
It's not.
It is.
I'm looking
It
at
is.
it as a statistical.
No, you're just looking at how he does
No.
versus rookie QBs, not
Yes,
against
that's
the
not
whole
biased.
team. Against the whole
That's
team.
not biased at all.
It's looking at, and, well, I mean, the bias comes in that you are a Patriots fan and you want them to win out the year. So.
Yeah. I mean, you probably picked the Giants this week.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Jaguars, Ravens. Everyone's going Ravens here.
Yeah.
Oh no, Julian picked the Jaguars.
Yeah. I wouldn't be
No, I'm
surprised.
just kidding. He picked the Ravens. What is Lamar gonna do? Is he gonna have another boom? I mean,
Yeah,
29, 35, and now he's playing the Jaguars.
Against one of the worst rush defenses.
I
think.
actually don't like Lamar against bad defenses because he had his lowest game of the year against Cincinnati, who's one of the worst
Yeah,
defenses
no.
in the league. It's because they get so far ahead, he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a blowout in my opinion. So I actually don't know if he's going to boom like he has the last. Because when he's playing a good team like Cleveland, he has the ability to just score at will. He doesn't have to stop for sportsmanship or injuries or whatever. So I don't know if he's going to have that type of game. I think it'll be a 20-point week again, but
Yeah. So not a big bust, but a little bust.
a little bust. No, a little boom.
A little boom. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the middle of a boom and a bust.
Yeah. 20 points.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Falcons. I don't think you can go against Tom. Terrific against Atlanta.
Yeah. No.
History there.
Yeah. And worst secondary in the league.
Yep. Julian is going, arguably, because the Seahawks,
Yeah.
Jets. Julian is going Bucks. 49ers and Cowboys. This is close because, remember, the 49ers are injured again. 49ers, Kittle has been rumored to be coming back to practice soon.
That dude. I thought he was ruled out for the year.
I mean, he said like 8 weeks.
Well, at first he said 2 weeks.
Or yeah, no, yeah, that's what he said. And the doctors were
We're
like,
just like, you maniac.
yeah. But I mean, it's in Dallas, but you can't go with Dallas. Dallas won last week,
They play the Bengals.
but they played the Bengals. So
Everybody and their mothers picked the Cowboys except idiots.
Rich Eisen picked the Bengals.
I like Rich Eisen.
But I think he was doing it because everyone else picked the Cowboys.
Yeah. On Monday, Good Morning Football and not Good Morning Football.
It was
The one with Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game day.
Yeah.
Game day.
Yeah. I was watching it before the Sunday. Sunday at 4:05, Eagles in Arizona. Despite the win against the Saints, Arizona just picked up a nice win against New York. You can't. Oh, it's tough actually.
Can't see Arizona losing.
I think I could. I'm going to pick Arizona, but I really could see the Eagles winning again. I could see them. They just beat the Saints, the 10-2 Saints.
I think the Saints outplayed themselves in that game. But
Yeah, I think that's something that I could see Kyler Murray doing though.
I don't know.
I've seen him do it before.
I'm going.
I'm going the Cardinals too. I just like I hate the Eagles, but I like Jalen Hurts. I really do. I like him in this offense. So I would not be surprised. Jets Rams, no discussion there.
We're all going Jets. Jets. Jets.
How many points for Goff this week? He had under 15. Both QBs had under 15 like you said. He had 14.8, I believe. How many points for Goff against the Jets?
I don't think he gets too much because I think they rely on the run game.
Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think they rely on the run game. I think Jared Goff gets 15 or less. Cam Akers
15 or less against arguably the worst secondary?
Yeah, because I think they just pound the run the whole game.
Although remember what he did last time. You trusted him last time against one of the worst secondaries, the Seahawks. He was on your waiver wires.
Yeah.
And he ended with 8 points against the worst secondary in football.
Because all he did was pound the run.
And they won. And they won that game.
They don't need Jared Goff to have an amazing game.
425. Join us going Rams. 425. Chiefs Saints.
Go Chiefs.
In New Orleans, Chiefs just came off a close game with Miami. And that's another reason for going with Miami, because look at what they just did against the Chiefs. Look at what their defense did against the MVP. Look at what Tua Tagovailoa, a rookie, did against. They're not a good defense.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, they're not a good defense. The Chiefs, but I mean they're not bad, but they're not good. But look at what Tua did: 27 points on them, competed with Mahomes, covered the spread.
I think the Patriots' defense is better than the Chiefs' defense.
Oh, it is 100%. But look at what the Dolphins' defense did against the Chiefs' defense, or against the Chiefs' offense, who was the best in the league. So I'm saying I don't see the Patriots
scoring. High-scoring game.
I don't see the Patriots scoring an offensive touchdown.
Oh, all right. Were they special teams? I don't think the Dolphins score like.
I think it's going to be a 17-3 maybe.
It's going to be a low-scoring game.
21-3.
But I think the Pats come out on top. What game were we talking about anyway?
Oh, we were talking about the Chiefs and Saints.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to talk.
Okay,
Chiefs, Saints.
Everybody's
Chiefs,
going Chiefs.
Yeah. Sunday night. This game got switched out for the Cowboys game, so it's the Sunday night game. Browns in MetLife against the Giants. I said it against the Seahawks. I regretted it, but I'm going to say it here against Cleveland because Cleveland is better than Seattle. Maybe. I don't know about that, but coming off a better game. Cleveland, I'm going with the Giants.
No. Don't even talk about bias. Don't even talk about bias.
Listen, if Dan Jones is in. If Dan Jones is in. Actually, no, I changed my mind because he's hurt. I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah, there you go.
I would love to see a Giants win. I'll be rooting for the Giants, but I just see the Browns winning this game, unfortunately. And if Dan Jones is in. I was saying that. So I was saying if he was in with he had the hamstring injury, and if he didn't have the second injury, I would say I would go with the Giants if he plays because of the Giants defense, but he's too hurt right now, and he might be forced back into it.
Baker's too
Colt
hot.
McCoy won't be able to do anything, so I'm going with the Browns.
Baker's too
rolling
hot.
with the dog pound, even against my own team. Would you pick the Browns or the Patriots if they played?
The Browns.
Okay, just confirming. Just confirming.
I've won against the Patriots before.
Just confirming. Monday night, Steelers, Bengals. Ooh.
It's a close one.
It's so close because the Steelers have just lost 2 straight. 2 straight in prime time. Now they're in prime time again. Monday night, Steelers in Cincinnati. And I'm going Steelers.
Yeah, me too.
Julian is too, but
If the Bengals had Joe
I'm gonna say
Burrow,
this is the third time I've said it this week. I would not be surprised if the Bengals win.
if the Bengals
Look
had
I know he was in, but look at what the Bengals did against the Titans. I know
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was there, but the Titans were undefeated and the Bengals dethroned them. And I think that the Steelers is crumbling. The Steelers franchise right now is crumbling with these 2 losses. And I think I could see a Bengals win, but I think it's more realistic that the Steelers win the game. I'm going with the Steelers.
Me too.
That is the Week 14-15 After Further Review podcast.
It's a great time tonight.
Really great time. As always,
Without
know,
Julian.
best decision of our lives
Yeah.
to cut Julian from the team.
Yeah.
Remember about that help wanted ad?
Yeah.
If
Thank you.
anybody is interested in coming to the podcast, DM me, Twitter me, call me. My line's open 24/7. Anybody at all. Anybody. I'm talking about you, Nick Scheibel, you, Cooper Fern, Mike Baldwin. I'm coming
Dan
at you guys.
Cushion.
I'm Dan Cushion. We want to test people out.
Rich Eisen,
Rich Eisen
DeAndre
too.
Hopkins,
DeAndre Hopkins.
anyone.
We'd love to have Ian Book on the podcast.
Kyler Murray, I know you texted me about it. I'll
Yeah.
get back to you.
I mean, if I would love to have Ian Book on this podcast, talk about the win against Clemson on when we win on Saturday. Great times. I think
That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching watching After Further Review. This is the team, the team to watch.
Yeah.
I'm John.
I'm Matty Q.
This is After Further Review, sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts.
Go Irish.